Hello. In today's video, we're setting up Grafana on TrueNAS to get beautiful real-time dashboards from the metrics we've been collecting with Prometheus. Grafana isn't just for metrics, it also integrates with tools like Loki for log aggregation, which I'll cover in future videos. So if you don't want to miss out, make sure to subscribe. If you don't already have Prometheus running, watch my earlier setup video linked in the description before following along here. Let's dive in. First, head over to your TrueNAS dashboard. Go to Apps, discover apps, and install Grafana using the default configuration. Once the app is running, open the Grafana console. The default login is admin. You'll be prompted to update your password once you log in. Before we can create dashboards, we need to add Prometheus as a data source. Navigate to Connections, Data Sources, and add a data source. Go ahead and choose Prometheus. Update the server URL to point to your Prometheus service. This will generally be your NAS IP with your Prometheus port. Once our server URL is updated, go ahead and scroll down and save and test. We should ideally get a successful query notification. Now that Grafana knows where to pull metrics from, we can start building dashboards. For this demo, I'll use image metrics, but you can follow the same steps for any service you're monitoring with Prometheus. Let's head on over to dashboards and get things started. Let's go ahead and create a new folder to organize our dashboard as well as our metrics. Head on over to New Folder, and create one called Image. Now that we're in our folder, let's go ahead and create a new dashboard. From here, let's go ahead and add our first visualization. Select Prometheus as the data source, and we're greeted with the Query Builder. Grafana gives us two ways to query data. The Query Builder, a simple drop-down based interface, which is great for beginners in getting a sense of what metrics are available. There's also the Code Mode. This is where you can write raw PromQL queries directly for more advanced and powerful options. For now, let's go back to the Query Builder and use that for this demo. Under Metrics, choose System CPU Utilization and add a filter for job and set the value to image. Go ahead and run the query. At first, the graph looks messy because it shows per core CPU usage. To clean it up, add a sum operation to group all cores together. Rerun the query. Now the graph shows total CPU usage as a single metric. This is much more usable and easier for us to understand. Switching over to code mode, you'll see how the builder translates to PromQL. Once you get comfortable, writing raw queries becomes very handy and generally easier than using the query builder. Now let's make this visualization more useful. On the top right, change the graph type to gauge. Scrolling down to standard options, let's update the unit to be a percentage. Make sure to choose percentage 0 through 100. Once we have our unit set, you can see that the gauge automatically updates to better represent our percentage. You may also notice that a red section has been added to the end. This is a threshold set by Grafana. Scrolling down, we can manually update these thresholds to our desired values. Let's go ahead and add another threshold and set that to 75. Let's also update the initial threshold from 80 to 90. This will allow us to have a warning threshold of 75% utilization, as well as a danger zone of 90%. Finally, let's give our panel a clear title like CPU utilization and save the dashboard. Back in the dashboard view, adjust the time range for the last 1 hour and enable auto refresh. Go ahead and resave the dashboard. Now that we have our first metric visualized, you can repeat this process to build out more panels and create a full monitoring overview. For example, after adding a couple more panels, we can now see our CPU utilization, memory, as well as the main queries used in our image server. Now that we have our dashboard, let's go ahead and set up some alerts. Let's set up an alert that notifies us in Discord if CPU usage gets too high. First, we need to create a contact point. This will be the way that Grafana notifies us of the alert. Under Alerting, go to Contact Points. Create a new contact point and choose Discord for the integration. Head over to Discord and create a server if you don't already have one. Once your server is created, go ahead and add a text channel called Alerts. Once our Alerts channel is created, let's go ahead and edit the channel. Under Integrations, let's go ahead and create a new webhook. Let's rename our webhook to be a bit more descriptive. Save the name and go ahead and copy the webhook URL. Paste it back into Grafana. Go ahead and name your contact point and test it with the default notification. Back in Discord, in our alerts channel, we should now see a test notification from Grafana. Now that we have our contact points set up, let's go ahead and create our alert. Back in Grafana, head over to our service dashboard. Under CPU utilization, click the three dots, More, and New Alert rule. This will automatically fill in our rule name, query, as well as the folder. We will, however, have to update our alert condition. Let's update this to trigger when our CPU utilization hits 90%. Scrolling down, let's set an evaluation behavior. Create a new evaluation group. I'll name mine System and create. We can keep the pending period at 1 minute, as well as the keep firing for at 0 seconds. Next, let's add our contact point. Go ahead and select the newly created Discord contact. Feel free to update the notification message if you'd like, but I'll just leave mine as is. Let's go ahead and save our alert. Now that we have our alert, Grafana will send a notification to our Discord channel whenever CPU utilization spikes too high. With our alert set up, we now have a fully functional Grafana dashboard and alerting system running on our TrueNAS. From here, you can build out more dashboards, create additional alerts, and integrate logs with tools like Loki. If you find this helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and check out my other monitoring tutorials. Leave a comment with any questions and let me know what monitoring tools you like to use on your home server. Thanks for watching and happy self-hosting.